On this episode of the John1911 Podcast, Staccato woes, slim frame X9, playing with the 6mm arc, and her name was Methany. Okay, good afternoon, everybody. This is Kraken and Marky, and this is episode, checks notes, 413 of the John1911 Podcast. Today is Monday, August 24th at 12:46 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And as I told Kraken before we got started, I have a hard 2 o'clock meeting. So this will not be an epically crazy long pod like we did last time with Mongo. So, to spare the listeners from having trying to do like a Joe Rogan podcast. So how you been, stranger? It's been a while.
Yeah, it has. Been kind of an eventful last month or two. Wife had back surgery, so been kind of holding down the fort there, and joined the local fire department. So I'm taking EMT classes right now, and a few gun projects, and just all kinds of busy stuff.
Yeah, so Kraken has updated his. I don't do this on the iPhones, but Kraken has updated his, I guess, profile picture in iMessenger, and he is wearing full bunker gear now with a helmet, and it looks like a respirator. So if you bunker gear, like a fireman outfit, if you're not familiar with that phrase. So
yeah,
do they still call it bunker gear? We used to call it bunker gear.
Yep, bunker gear, turnout gear.
Okay. So did they provide bunker gear, or did you have to go buy it?
Nope, they provide it.
Oh, that's nice. Did you have to buy the boots, or do they provide those?
They provided boots, but I bought my own because I wanted better boots.
Okay. Because bunker gear is expensive.
Yeah, just like the top coat's $1,700. The bottoms are about the same. I bought really good boots, so the boots that I bought were, $600.
So if I was describing you, maybe I need to update your bio on the website. So we have hunter, race car driver, gun collector, police officer, firefighter, EMT. And there's other stuff you've done too. You've done corporate security. What other jobs have I missed to put on your CV?
Oh my God. Law enforcement, corrections, private security consultant, scuba diver, race car driver, fireman, EMT. Yeah, like all kinds of stuff.
I forgot you were a screw. So, yeah, I'm boring compared to you. So
I've been blessed. I've gotten to wear a lot of hats.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah.
Literally. So, all right. So let's talk about so the listener doesn't know this because I haven't published all the content yet, but we're working way through. But Kraken has blessed us with a whole shit ton of videos of things he's been working on and acquisitions. Is there anything you want to give any of the listeners a preview on that's most interesting or surprising or newsworthy before the videos start coming out?
Well, probably the first one is this new Wilson Combat SFX9 that I have.
Oh, yeah.
I am super impressed with it so far. I don't have much range time with it. To use your quote when we talked about it, the grip is stupid thin on it.
They are, yeah, I am very anti-2011, and we will come back to that later in this pod. And I understand that, I have no credibility with the 2011 people because I'm so anti-2011. But I will tell you, if you are someone that likes 2011s, but you want a double stack 1911, but you've got small hands or you're a female, for whatever, or maybe it's your personal preference, but you love the single stack 1911, these SFX9 Wilsons, the slim frame version. It's basically the X9, I believe. X9 slim frame is what I think SF stands for.
Yeah.
They use the same double stack magazine that my X9 uses, but these guns are so skinny, it's shocking. Like, actually, I remember picking one up at the NRA show at the Wilson booth. They didn't know I was there. I just walked up anonymously and did it. And surprised, because people at Wilson don't know what I look like either. And I remember picking up going, holy shit, this is too thin for me. So if it's, and I have large hands, if it's too thin for me and you're bothered by super fat guns, you may want to look at one of these SFX9s. So you going to bring it when you're in town?
Well, hold on.
Uh-oh. Somebody having a technical issue? Am I going to filibuster? Am I going to stretch? Because I don't want to stop the recording. So anyway, I'm going to talk about the SFX9 while Kraken gets his new headphones worked out. They in essence are the X9 guns, but they remove all the grip panel stuff. And I believe they have, I don't know if they have I don't remember if they have track pattern on them or whatever it is, but we'll definitely revisit that, when he brings the gun in town. Okay, Kraken's back. So we were talking about the SFX9 and how thin I feel it is. What do you think of it?
It is, to me, it is just slight. It's almost like a single stack 1911. If you have like a set of Packmars on it that makes it just a hair wider. So I have really weird shaped hands. I've got a very large hand, but I've got very short fingers. Mm-hmm. So this gun almost feels like it has been made for somebody with my hand profile in mind.
Like, if I recall, and I could be wrong, but if I recall, the goal of what they said, the SFX9, the peak width of the SFX9 was about the same as a single stack 1911 and 45 with standard grips on it. But the only difference is that that width obviously is more boxed out than, because the grips on a 1911 obviously are, convex.
Yeah.
Convex. So it's a little bit more boxy, but that's kind of how thin these guns are.
Yeah, so, it's more of a squared off grip, but I'll tell you what, it's one of the most comfortable fitting handguns in my hand that I've probably ever owned.
I don't remember, because I haven't looked at one in a couple of years, because I held one at the NRA show. Does it use the same texture that my X9 uses, or does it use the track pattern? Is it an S? Is it the SF? Do they have an SFXT? T is for track. I don't know. I don't know Wilson's nomenclature on it. I don't recall. Do you know?
No, I don't. This just going off memory, because I don't have my X9 handy at the moment. Mm-hmm. It's got a different checkering pattern.
Does it kind of looks like hand grenade, kind of like pineapple hand grenade?
Yeah, it doesn't have that swirly pattern like my X9 had.
Yeah, I think that's the T. That's the tracks pattern, which, in my opinion, is that's what's on my single stack Wilsons, and in my opinion, that texture on a grip of a handgun is dynamite. What it does is it totally locks in your hand. But, on traditional 1911s with 20 LPI, 30 LPI, really 30 LPI checkering, the checkering can be so fine that you can easily damage the checkering, say over a 20 or 30 year career, where the track pattern achieves the same level of grip, but it's not as fragile as the standard 30 LPI checkering.
Yeah. So the sides are a little smoother on the checkering, and the front strap and the back strap are very aggressive. Same pattern, but it's a deeper checkering that's not as rounded. So it's got a very tactile feel to it.
Do you have is it cut for a red dot?
This one is not.
Okay. Are you going to bring it when you're in town?
I might.
You might. Okay, good. Well, we'll shoot some drills with it, and I'd love to get some trigger time on it.
Yep. I planned on bringing it.
I will provide a case of ammo for us to wear that gun in. So I'm excited to shoot it and just like actually really handle one. So yeah, I mean, that's an interesting
I've been
gun.
carrying a Staccato. Once I get this one run in a bit, it's probably going to replace the Staccato as far as my EDC gun.
Now, this FX gun you have, is it a 5-inch, 4 1/4, or 4-inch gun, or shorter?
I've got the 4.
Okay, I'd be real interested in seeing that.
That's just the size that I really like for an EDC gun.
Sure, I mean that that commander size or 4-inch, like true commander's 4 1/4. Is in 9mm is like the cat's meow for carry.
Yeah.
I don't know. I
would carry this on duty. I've carried combat commanders on duty. I just like that size. So if I was hitting the street today, I wouldn't hesitate a bit once I've run this in and get used to it to carry it on duty too.
Okay. Does it have a rail on it?
Yep, this one does.
Okay.
You can get it with or without a rail.
Okay. Does it have a magwell on it? I don't know if any of those have magwells on. Okay.
No, because I think if they tried to put a magwell on it, it would flare it out, and it kind of defeats the whole purpose of making a skinny grip.
Well, they probably beveled it, right? Like, I mean, a double stack mag is
not really.
Oh, really?
Well, a little bit. It's got a slight bevel, but it's not obnoxious. But
it should be like reloading a Glock. Then it'd be all right.
Yeah. Very, very similar bevel profile.
Okay. All right. Well, I'm definitely interested in that gun. So, actually, because I alternate between working out at we have our gym, and then there's when I'm in town, I go to public gyms now. So because I've moved the company gym out to the range, so I have to. My policy is I always have a gun on me. Yeah, I realistically don't need to do that anymore, but I still do it. So I wear a fanny pack when I'm working out because it's physically on me. And I'm carrying the full size, my X9L, and I'm using, I don't know, what's like a Vertex type fanny pack or something. And I've got those 18 round mags, and it's like, the 18 round mag, like I probably could maybe get away with putting a 15 round in it. Like I think it would draw better. But I'm like, well, at least I've got the gun on me and I can get to it fairly quickly. I'd be super curious to put your SFX9 in my gym fanny pack and, see what that's like. Like fun fact for the listener, today I'm wearing a fanny pack with a 5-inch double stack 1911 doing squats. So like for real. Like I'm doing pull-ups, that motherfucker is on my body.
Now you know what we used to call those back in the day?
Fag bags?
Fag bags.
Yeah.
Fast action gun bags.
Yeah, they went out of they went out of style. Like they're real, like, fanny packs, like I get it, but like I don't like them, but I've been using them for years. If you're in a tourist area or around hotels, they fit in way better than what you would think. I'm not saying posted up security isn't going to make you with your fanny pack, but the average schmo walking around looking at the skyscrapers and following a tour guide is not going to look twice at your little fanny pack.
Now there is a foolproof way to get away with carrying a fag bag and never get made by anybody. It's accessorizing. You have to get the black and white New Balance 550 old man sneakers, the cargo shorts, and a 3-button polo that doesn't have something stupid like from Grunt Style on it.
Okay.
But you got to be old like us.
See, the thing is, I have big
Because you're
feet.
just a boomer then.
Yeah, well, the thing is, like this whole like capping on New Balance, I have big feet, and so I've had to wear New Balance since I was in high school because I can't
Hmm.
wear all these cool shoes. They're not, like I couldn't wear like Adidas or Nike. They're too skinny for my feet. It's terrible. So like, yeah, like I've been wearing New Balance for
Yeah.
God 40 years.
So you're
Like,
halfway there already.
yeah, I was wearing New. I was 17 years old. I don't know if I was 17 or 16. I got my first pair. My mom found them and bought them for me because, she could shop. I didn't know anything about anything. And, shoes just didn't fit me. And so she discovered New Balance somehow. And I've been wearing New Balance gym shoes pretty much ever since. It's like
Yeah.
actual, like if I'm working out or doing stuff, like my daily gym shoe, I'm wearing New Balance. So I guess it makes me an old man. Well, I am an old man now.
Yeah, we
So,
are. So,
yeah,
we just got to look like the boomer on a cruise and nobody will ever make us.
no one's ever going to make us. Any other gun projects you got going on?
Oh, I've got a bunch of them. Another one I was thinking about bringing out if you want me to. I picked up a Seekins Precision DMR in 6 millimeter arc of all things.
Yeah, that will be super interesting. Um, yeah, that'll be super interesting. Like, have you fired it yet? Have you zeroed it or anything?
No, to be honest, I've been kind of avoiding, like the new arc cartridges and the PRC stuff.
Oh
Uh,
yeah.
because to me, it just duplicates a lot of what I've got already. And I work part time for a local gun shop. I'm kind of helping the guy get established. He's about a year from retired from the Air Force, so I'm kind of keeping him pointed in the right direction. And so he sells me everything it costs, and I just got this so incredibly stupid price that it's like, well, I'll buy brass and dies for that. And so my dies come in today, and I've got brass and projectiles, and I've been studying the books. The really interesting thing about 6 arc, once I got to looking into it, is you're not a whole lot bigger than a standard 5.56 round. It fits in 5.56 magazines,
Yeah.
but without getting stupid at the reloading press, bullet weight per bullet weight, I'm only losing about 200 foot per second over factory loaded 243.
Well, 243 is a barrel burner.
Well, it can be, especially in the lighter weight projectiles, but 243, basically a neck down 308. I'm getting essentially the same performance out of a 5.56 style and size of case versus, the 200 foot per second more, but having to go up to basically a neck down 308.
Yeah, I'm with you. Like a lot of these, I call these, and this is not fair to say this, these wildcat calibers. Again, they're not wildcat calibers, but a lot of these bougie, weird caliber guns, I have really like ignored them. I couldn't tell you if you said 6 millimeter arc versus some of these other things. I'm like, I have no idea. But one thing I've noticed, and unless I misheard it or misunderstood it, is did I hear or read that possibly some SOCOM units in the U.S. military have been messing with 6 millimeter arc in ARs in lieu of trying to deal with the 6.8 277 Fury thing? Do I have that right?
There have been reports out there that the Maduro raid utilized some 6 arc in DMR type configurations. Yeah.
Oh, in DMR, not assaulters?
What I've read was more of a DMR role, but again, with the snake eaters, you don't know what's.
Yeah.
It could be total BS from somebody that just thinks they know somebody that knows somebody. You never know, but the rumors are
Yeah.
floating around that yes, especially with some special forces groups, they have been playing with 6 arc.
Okay. So are you, well, I mean, look, like I don't want to buy a 6 arc. I don't want to support 6 arc. But my policy kind of is, look, I mean, I have to deal with guns from a logistics standpoint. I've got what I call working guns, and we've got reference guns. Reference guns can be in these weird calibers, you know what I mean? Because I don't have to
Hmm.
support them that often. But like duty guns, carbines, pistols, sniper rifles, precision rifles, 308, 9 millimeter, that's really the word, like, where I'm buying the bulk of the ammo in. So if, for example, if Department of War decides they go to 6.8, I mean 6.8's looking worse and worse, but if for some reason that becomes a caliber that I would start seeing at the John 1911 range, I would probably start supporting it. It would, even if they switch to 6.8, it would take a couple of years before you started seeing, say, groups or cops rolling in 6.8, but eventually it would start coming down, kind of like the Beretta came down, and the Sig P320. But so I'm like, well, I keep hearing rumors about 6 millimeter arc, and 6.5 Creedmoor has definitely crossed over.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, that's definitely one I'm starting to pay more attention to. Kind of like when I started paying more attention to 338 Norma Mag as opposed to 338 Lapua.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, like it'll be super interesting because I got a bench set up for you now at 600 yards. So you can shoot off a bench that gun, and you can shoot it at man-sized silhouette, or I've got 10-inch plates if you want to shoot that arc out, and we can figure. I'd be real curious how that gun shoots.
Yeah, depending on how your schedule works, I've kind of blocked off plenty of time. It's kind of my big adventure for the fall, because then I roll into deer season, and then EMT course has taken up some time, and I've done it before, but I had let my certification lapse. But I blocked off kind of whatever time you had available, so we can definitely put that one through its paces.
Okay, when we get offline, because I got to start confirming some other groups with the schedule for that
Yep.
time. But yeah, we'll get it pinned down. But no matter what they do, you and I will be together.
Yeah.
So that's already kind of in the works. So you'll I got a gate up. I got a powered gate up now.
Oh, nice.
So no more getting in and out of the vehicles, constantly open and close that damn gate. So
See, but I grew up in farm country, so when you're hunting, when you're a kid, you're the gate bitch, and when you're the new person in the group, you're the gate bitch.
gate, yeah.
So if I had a nickel for every time I've had to hop out of a truck and open a gate up like that, I
Yeah.
could probably just buy your range.
Yeah. And it's like, but I tell you what, and
But
then
it's
it gets
nice, yeah.
old. Yeah, like I'm in and out, like getting food or doing something, or it's raining. I'm back and forth constantly, and it's just like it gets, if I'm cutting with the tractor or doing stuff, just having to get out and deal with that. Like I can open and close it and cut around it now, so I'm
Yeah.
real happy with it. So, but there's a video on the internet. This guy, he's obviously sitting in a vehicle, maybe a tractor, and he's filming this girl, and she's walking. She's got little flip flops on, and he's like, this girl, she's walking like to the gate, and he's like, yeah, this is my gate opener. It's a 1996 model, come pretty good. It was said, it's a 1996 model, works pretty good. He says, when I put the order in, I had to wait about 9 months to get it. It's hilarious. And it's
Yeah.
obviously his daughter. But yeah, so all right. Well, I'm
The
looking forward. Those are two
yeah.
interesting guns.
So we'll have to talk about what all you want me to bring, because the Smith gods have been extremely benevolent to me in the last 60 days or so.
Well, we are going to have to figure out. I've been playing with vertical video. I guess
Hmm.
I'll say this, like, to the listener, because if you listen to the podcast, you get more of the backstory. The internet, the video scene on the internet has completely changed, and it's kind of put me in kind of a bind because basically everybody's running vertical video and as opposed to the horizontal landscape video. And you're like, well, how does that affect you? Well, if I take a video, and even it's a long form video, and let's say it's 7 minutes or whatever, and I post it landscape, these sites basically throttle it. Nobody sees the video. And they're forcing us to do vertical videos. So I've been trying to figure out how to do vertical videos, kind of how to how to, not that anybody cares, but, I've got to be able to post them on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, but then also I have to get them on the website. And I don't like vertical video on our website. I don't like how it renders. It blows out the screens. So I have to convert all my vertical videos to a landscape video. But when you're watching it, it's obviously vertical with big bars on the side. So I've been kind of experimenting with how to make all that happen. And a lot of these vertical videos are really short. So I haven't quite figured out if you can do a normal video, like we're sitting, like, like you and I are on the range, we're talking, we're bullshitting, we're shooting, we're doing whatever. And it's like a 7, 8, 9 minute video. I don't even know how you'd make that work in vertical so you could see everything, unless you're filming it from really far away.
You'd have to probably really zoom out.
Yeah. And so then, I'm trying to, or I film it landscape horizontal and then zoom it in for vertical, but there's going to be limitations there too. So it's, again, no one cares about my problems, but this has been fucking me up most of the summer, most of the year, because it is now full blown. If you're not posting vertical videos, no one's showing you to anybody. But if I post a vertical video and it hits, oh my God. Like I did a video, just as a test, I did a video on, like scuffing up a 1911, like a carry gun versus these pristine guns. And I did it as a vertical video. Oh my God, like 35 or 40,000 people watch that video on some of the individual social media places. Yeah. Because obviously they're like, okay, a vertical video, we'll render this. It's good content. People are engaging with it. We'll show it to everybody. And it was like, shit, I'm going to have to start doing more vertical video. So, all right. Well, that's good to know. So, hey, as you mentioned Staccato, have you heard any of the drama that's gone on with Staccato and their warranty and their dealers lately?
Oh God, yes. They've changed their business model a little bit. They're basically trying to stick with bigger dealers that can make bigger orders. So that pissed off a lot of the smaller shops. And I've just seen, like Facebook especially, I've seen some gun shops. There was one out of South Carolina, and just totally, to me, blowing it out of proportion, and in a couple of cases just flat out lying. The warranty now Staccato just has come out in the last week or so and clarified their warranty policy. So now the warranty follows the gun. So if I have a brand new C2, I register it, I've got the lifetime warranty. But now if I turn around, let's say I sold it to you, the warranty follows the gun now. So then if you have an issue and need to get it sent in for warranty work, the warranty follows the gun, not the buyer. So they've got that cleared up. But a lot of these gun shops that got a case of the red ass over this deal, I don't know if they purposely did it to try and dig at Staccato or if they just didn't understand. But Staccato has a $199 annual program where it's basically a basic maintenance program. If I'm not savvy enough to take them apart, do proper maintenance, see if this part's worn, if it needs a new extractor, you can just send it in, they clean it, go through it, whatever. that's $199. But what these gun shops were doing was they were putting out that Staccato is now charging $199 a year just to have a warranty on it that used to be free. So that was incorrect. And then one particular shop out of South Carolina was trying to tell its Facebook followers that all of their new Staccato inventory that they have on hand right now, that according to Staccato had to be sold as a used gun, even though it was brand new, so there was no warranty on it. I find that a little suspect. My opinion is the motive there was to try and dig at Staccato for them losing their dealership. Staccato has since come out and clarified that that's BS.
I would venture to guess that probably isn't a complete misunderstanding. I would venture to guess that Staccato at some point, this is conjecture, Staccato, don't send me a goddamn letter. that when they said you're no longer in the dealer program, that means you're no longer get access to the perks that we provide dealers, which could be warranty. You could easily, I can see how this could be intimated, to where they got. And I've already said on this podcast, and I've already established my reputation. I am not a 2011 person at all. I hate those guns. They are trash. I don't care how much you spend. They are trash guns. So I'm not sucking Staccatos for whatever. So, but I understand from a business perspective what they were thinking with the 199. And a lot of companies want to do this. They're like tractor companies are doing this. They're not dealing with the small mom and pop distributors or dealers. They want to deal with the bigger companies that can carry inventory, that maybe can provide services, can provide selection. Maybe it's a place for people can come in and, look at my gun, deal with my gun, do whatever with my gun, a little handshake, a little this, whatever. And then realizing that they're chopping down their dealer network from these small mom and pops, they decided, why don't we come in and do, we call it DTC, direct to consumer. We will act as your local dealer, and for $199 a month or $199 a year, you send your gun in, and we'll go ahead and give like your annual service, and it's a way for them to get more money out of the customer, and it's also a way for them to mentally say, even if you don't have a dealer within 300 miles of where you live, don't worry, we got you. We will function as your gunsmith, service department, armorer, whatever. If you're by yourself and you want to run one of these guns, we will take care of you for $199 a year. That's what they're thinking.
Yeah. And like I said, that one particular shop, the post I saw, I mean, just the whole theme of the post was just extremely bitter. So I will allow that. In my opinion, there was probably, maybe some misunderstanding, but I think there was also some purposeful misinformation as a stab at Staccato.
Oh, no doubt.
But it's not uncommon in the gun world. I mean, clear back when I had an FFL and a brick and mortar shop. Benelli did something similar. Back in the early days, getting an account with Benelli was extremely difficult if you were a small shop, because you had to buy into an initial package, and you didn't get to pick. And it wasn't a matter of, well, you have to spend 10 grand with us. It was, you've got to spend 10 grand and you're going to get one of these, 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 one of these. No. And the way the package was structured, the one or two guns that I could sell in my neck of the woods, like the new Super Black Eagle, M1 Super 90s, stuff like that I could actually sell, I would get in this package, I might get one of each. And then I got ultra high dollar foo-foo guns that would have sat on my shelf forever. So I'd
Yeah.
have wound up taking a huge loss to buy that package just to be able to buy some Super Black Eagles.
Yeah, that sounds like a lot of these auto dealers do this
Mm-hmm.
now. Like the exotic dealers, they're like, oh, you want the flagship, whatever, super popular car? Well, you got to buy one of these, and then you got to buy one of these, and then you got to buy one of these. And then maybe in the future, we'll sell you one of the flagship cars at a dealer at a market rate adjustment because you decided to play the game. It's a way to move inventory through their system, record it as sales, and yeah, I mean it. Well,
Yep.
apparently Staccato, like a lot of stuff started coming out about Staccato. Again, I don't pay attention to Staccato at all. And apparently they make ammo, and they were doing this with ammunition.
Mm-hmm.
They were forcing their dealers to buy ammo, which again, you could even see it from two sides. If you're a mom and pop dealer, you're moving one or two Staccatos a year. You've been with Staccato since they were STI, and you're not buying that much. You can't spend 5,000 on the ammo. You know what I mean? Like you can't
Mm-hmm.
be a stocking ammo person. They're like, yeah, they're just resetting the whole board, and
Well, and then
unfortunately
you
a lot of
run
people
into
got.
map pricing. I've got a
Oh yeah,
Staccato sitting on the shelf I've had for 2 years. So I decide I'm just going to dump it and free up the capital. Well, I can lose my Staccato dealership because I sold it below map pricing, even though I've had it for 2 years.
well, no, I think map pricing. Technically, map is minimum advertised price. You
Mm-hmm.
can't advertise it below. But I think you can. I guess you could blow stuff out. You just can't do it publicly. You can't take a flyer out and be like, "We're
Yeah.
blowing out the Staccatos for $500."
Yeah,
Axeman's
I
coming.
can't put an ad on Facebook for my gun shop saying, regular price is 2,500 for the next 2 weeks. 2320 on
1999.
in stock
Yeah,
guns. That violates the map pricing. I can lose my dealership. Now, if you just come in and say, "What's the best you can do?" I can say, "Well, 2320, but don't tell anybody."
yeah. So, I mean, apparently, now did I hear this correctly? This was news to me. Again, and sometimes people say things they don't know what they're saying. Somebody was trying to argue on the internet that Staccato is owned by quote private equity unquote. Is that true?
I have heard that. Honestly, I don't have the business acumen to really comment on that. It wouldn't surprise me the way business works anymore, but that's more your rice bowl than mine.
Yeah,
I
like
can't.
what's private equity? Like
Yeah.
a, what? Like to me, generally, private equity means a firm that is in all kinds of industries. Now, maybe you have a wealthy individual or entity that for some reason has bought Staccato because it's their personal pet project. I don't know if I'd call that
Mhm.
private equity, but so you have heard, okay.
Yeah.
So
So to me, a prime example to the layman, the way I understand private equity, would be like a Friday night episode of Shark Tank. Mark Cuban says, "I'll give you 500,000 for a 48% stake."
okay,
I'm not a businessman, but that's to me, that's what that means is maybe not necessarily some big corporation came in and swooped them up, but maybe one guy, maybe a group came in and took a private
could be a
equity
group,
stake.
could be a family office, could be a high net worth individual. I have no
Yeah.
idea.
But like I
So,
said, not my rice bowl, so I can't really speak a whole lot to it.
but I will tell you
But I have heard it.
just how like from 30,000 feet looking at Staccato for a short period of time, the way it seems like that they're making decisions, it certainly smells like or looks like there's a fair amount of uh of I don't know, bureaucracy or accountability above them. Like it
Yeah.
seems like they're pretty slow. I mean, to their credit, like their new warranty, they reacted fairly quickly
Yep.
for a company. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, but it's also something where it's like I could see where if you're an investment group or you're private equity and whatever, however you want to think about that, someone who's not in the space, in the industry day to day could easily fuck this up and not realize how things are going to look to people. Where it was kind of like a self-inflicted wound, and it just seems like there's issues there too. And apparently, like they just had another thing now where somebody, like was using a gun. It put wear on the gun. They're claiming that it's like this needs to be dealt with under warranty. And Staccato said, no, this is under, normal use. This isn't a failure of the finish. You've been shooting and holstering the gun. And again, look at one of my guns compared, it's like, we're not even talking the same universe. And they publicly said, no, you can't, this is not, we will refinish this gun for $199 or whatever it is. But, whoever it was went public with it. Ben Stoeger picked up on it, published the information. Now Staccato has come out again, and they're like, no, we will take care of this. We'll refinish this gun. Our bad. And it's like, it's just, I mean, we're almost getting.
It sounds like they're being
more
reactive than proactive.
Yeah, they're definitely chasing. They're definitely they're chasing their tail here.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, this is not going to. This is where it's. I mean, it's a podcast to tell the truth. Like a lot of people that buy guns, they don't shoot, and so they don't. It's look, a lot of people that buy guns are like people that buy cars, like Porsches. I see Porsche people that are like this. It's an aspirational buy. It's a lot of money to them. They want to own it, the pride of ownership, and it has value, but they don't want to run that item down to $0 of value. They want to have it as an asset and treat it as an asset. And so they don't really drive it that much. They're real careful with it. They're all that. And that kind of customer pays to keep a lot of these businesses open. But they design the stuff realistically for the actual drivers. And what happens is you get the actual drivers that really, when they buy this kind of equipment, whether it's a car or a gun, they want to pay for service and support. They don't want warranty work. I broke my shit, fix it. Broke my shit, get parts for it, fix it. Like not like send me a bill. When I say fix it, I mean send me a bill, I'll pay for it. Whereas, like these Ferrari owners or these high-end 2011 dudes, because these guns are so expensive, there's a lot of people that, well, really any high-end gun, there's a lot of people that buy these guns simply because they can afford them, but they really can't afford them. Either they can't afford the depreciation on using them, so they don't use them. So any little thing they get hyper sensitive about, or they just have the wrong attitude, and they can become a problem for certain businesses. That would be another reason why Staccato would come up with the $199 a year program. So these dudes that just, oh my, something's out of spec. Oh, something's this or that. Send it in, $199. We will, and under that program, we'll do whatever. And you get a fresh gun every year. And then you factor in how finicky 2011s are with that crappy magazine. It's like, oh, my magazine. Yeah, no, fuck your magazine, dude. The 9mm, it's insane. And it's just the recipe for disaster. And you were going to say something?
Yes, as I understand it, because my Staccato, I just bought it new, another one 6 months ago. But I bought the older style C2, so it still uses the Staccato mags. Uh, all the ones I've shot that utilize that mag have run pretty good. I haven't had a lot of problems with them. The grip itself is just stupid fat. I mean, you got to have big hands to be able to run one. There's just no way around it. But I
Yeah, you
believe the
really, I
new
mean, for
iteration of Staccato is actually utilizing Glock mags.
yes. So, which is legit. I don't know if those guns are selling that well, or if those guns have worked out in Staccato's favor as they would have liked. I think people are still buying the regular 2011s,
Hmm.
what I would call them. Again, but like everyone that knows how these designs work knows that 2011 magazine is complete dog shit. That's why Wilson went with the new mag design. That's why Kimber went with a new mag design. Kimber. I mean, you bought one of those Kimber guns. That doesn't use 2011 mag, does it?
No, it
You,
uses more of the Wilson style mag.
yeah, but it's not a Wilson mag. It's something
No, but
proprietary.
it's the dimensions, the size, the shape
It's a
of
it.
it.
Yeah, it's a 9 millimeter tube.
I mean,
So yeah, from the ground.
if
Yeah,
I was being really honest, Kimber just went and they bought a Wilson and they reverse engineered it with cheaper, shittier parts and changed the grip just enough that if you're a Wilson guy, you walk by it at a gun show table and went, "Ooh, a Wilson." Ah, fuck, it's a Kimber.
yeah.
Uh,
Apparently, those I got to give props. Apparently, there's people that are starting to change their mind on those Kimbers. Like they're
I
starting to.
sold it
There's.
because a guy wanted it way worse than I did. I ran the
Mhm.
dog shit out of it for about 6 months. It ran great. It shot great. Will it hold up as good as a Wilson? The jury's out. But yeah, there are a lot of guys, but a lot of times I'm also finding the guys that are bragging on the Kimbers are the guys who would have never spent $2,800 on a Wilson to start with.
Yeah, and realistically, most of those guys bragging on the Kimbers are just like the guys who are bragging on Staccato, and frankly, the guys that most the customers that brag on Wilson or Nighthawk or whatever, most of these dudes don't shoot.
Mm-mm.
So you don't really know, until you see people that shoot the guns. And I'm going to circle back and make this one point about the 2011s in particular, but also like this is a known thing in the gun community, um, that the average consumer doesn't understand. Okay, uh, a lot of these custom gun shops, like especially if they're like really small custom gun shops, like one man, like he's an artisan
Mhm.
and blah blah blah, and he can do.
There's a 5-year waiting list.
Yeah, there's a 5 year waiting list. He can only do 6 guns a year or 3 guns a year and all this stuff. Those dudes want to sell you their gun. That's whatever, some crazy amount of money. But they don't want you to be the guy who is putting 25 to 40,000 rounds a year through that gun,
Mm-mm.
because now they won't say that publicly. That will not be their position at all, because they'll even be a guy who's like, we got a guy that competes and whatever. It's that one guy who's a friend of theirs. He does it for a while, but eventually what happens is these dudes with these long waiting lists and their one man shops, you start running these guns hard, they got to start coming back in to be rebuilt. They got to start coming back in to do all this stuff. And what happens is these one man shops get sick and tired of having to stop making new money and having to deal with the same gun every year has to be redone. And they start getting away from that because the business model is not really set up for people that actually shoot.
Mhm.
If you are sounds terrible, but it's the truth. If you're a real shooter, and like, if you're shooting 25,000 rounds a year through a gun, you don't care about warranty work. What you spend in ammo doesn't, I mean, the gun doesn't is matter so little. It's so cheap. It doesn't matter. You might get a new gun every year. You need support. You need somebody that can fix your gun, service your gun, provide parts for your gun, and turn it around. Even if you're running 2 or 3 guns, turn those guns around in a reasonable amount of time so you can go to the regionals. So
Yep.
you can go to the whatever, or go to your IDPA, or go to your trainings. You're a tactical guy. Your goal is to hit every top tier school in America in 2027. You need support, and you will pay for that support. And so when I look at a company, when I'm buying something that's quote a working gun, support is the most important thing, because I will break your shit.
Well,
But the
here's a
average
prime
consumer,
example, and it kind of segues into something else. You ran a VP9 for quite a while as an EDC, right?
yeah,
VP9's a pretty decent looking gun right out of the box. And a lot of guys
mm-hmm.
buy VP9s because, well, it's an HK and I'm tribal. And they carry it a little bit. They shoot it once a month, whether it needs shot or not. And 5 years later, it still looks damn near as good as the day they took it out of the box, and it's great. And they show all
Mine
their
didn't.
buddies, and their buddy runs out and buy one. It's self-advertising. Your VP9, as I recall, looks like I tied fishing line to it, hooked it up to the back of my dually, and drove from Nebraska to Ohio, dragging it across I-70 at 90 mile an hour.
Yeah, I mean, because I was
That is not
shooting
the
it.
gun
Yeah.
that we want on the cover of a magazine. I mean, SIG tried it with their hell and back advertising campaign that was a flop. But the fact is, your VP9 ran like a son of a bitch. It just looks like hell. We
Yeah.
don't want Marky's gun as an advertising prop. We want Joe Blow's gun that's 8 years old and has a round count of 320 rounds.
Yeah. And okay, look, I don't know this for a fact, half this what I'm about to say, but I intuitively, as a business person, know this is true. I will tell you this. I know for a fact that there are people who are employees at Wilson Combat who look at my X9L gun and they're like, "That's cool." No. They're individual employees.
The other direction. It's
Yeah,
been to hell and back and still
"Oh
runs.
man, that's cool. That dude's running that son bitch." There's somebody be like, "How's it getting wear there?" But like, that's pretty cool. They've said it to me off the record. I don't know this, but I would assume there are people in the highest levels of Wilson Combat who would look at pictures of my gun on the internet with the wear on it and be like, fuck. Because they know that the dudes who buy their guns and don't shoot are going to look at my gun and be like, oh, there's something wrong with that finish. And it's like, I don't know, that finish, it's never rusted. That finish has never rusted.
Mm-hmm.
Like that used to be a big problem I had with guns, like working guns in the 90s and early 2000s. It's like just a gun that I could wear all day in the rain in a holster and come home at night and it's not rusted, or the next morning it's not rusted. Like, see, but today the bar is so high on how these things look. Yeah, the bar is so high on how these things look that people just, they're two completely different customers. Watch people are the same way. Like these watch nerds will be like, don't shoot with your watch on. Don't play golf with your watch on. Don't do this. Don't wear a bracelet that's too loose. Don't ever shower with your watch on. And it's like, I'm over here like, motherfucker, like I don't take the watch off. Only time I take it off is when I'm lifting.
Yep.
But like any other time than that watch does not come off. I mean, if I have to get in an MRI machine, it comes off.
Yeah.
Like that's it. Or I have to go through the security at the airport. That's it.
Yep.
So it's like
the guy that just bought a brand new Colt Python. Yes, you can shoot it, but you have to take your wedding ring off because you're not fucking up the check ring on my $2,500 revolver.
Yeah, I didn't even worry about. I didn't even thought about it because I'm not, I'm not married. I don't wear a wedding ring. But yeah, I never even thought about that. But that would
Yep.
be, yeah, that would be a, yeah. Like, oh
So
my
so
God, you're
I've
scratching
actually
my
had my
gun.
buddies say, "How's come you don't wear your wedding ring? You afraid you're going to nick up your pretty little gun?" No, it's because I was hooking up the race trailer one day and just about lost a finger due to finger emulsion.
Oh,
So all the
oh,
stupid stuff I do, that and I've lost one wedding ring scuba diving. I've got one.
really?
Oh yeah, yeah. Your hands, when your hands get cold, uh, they'll shrink up. I have an unusually high tolerance for the cold. So I was in a pair of shorts and a rash shirt scuba diving in 58-degree water, and my hand shrunk up enough, surfaced, and went, oops, Mrs.
Oh
Kraken's going to
shit.
be pissed.
Oh no. Uh, I can testify to the fact that you do stand pretty tall in the cold. The one time you came out to the John 1911 range, I think we set a record cold snap. It was like the high was 5.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, for days. Like it would be 5, like 5 degrees in the sun, and then like overnight it would drop to like what minus. I don't remember what it was, but
Yep.
yeah,
And
yeah,
I was
and
shooting basically in a just a regular winter weight jacket, and you had like this 27-pound Arctic Cabela's
yeah.
parka on.
I'm wearing hunting gear. My cold weather gear is hunting gear. Yeah, so you know, because my range doesn't close. I have to shoot in the cold all the
Yep.
time. Like I've had cops out at the range and it's been 0.
Yep.
And they're like, "Well, we're shooting today." I'm like, "All right, we shooting today." And yeah, doesn't matter because it's like it's on the schedule. They're on city time, and it's like it's got to happen today. And so today's the day, unless Jesus turns off the sun.
Yeah.
Like I mean, it's like we're shooting.
If it's
So
10 below and there's a call out, we can't go now. Fuck, we're out. It's too cold
yeah,
today.
and that's why it's made a lot of sense now to have. I've built facilities. We've got a fire pit. I got to get operational. We have bathroom. We have HVAC. Like we have
Hmm.
life support out there, so people can come inside and we
Yeah.
can
Well, the other
chill
thing
out and
about
do.
shooting in the extreme cold, especially with semi-automatics, you start figuring out some of this shit don't work when it's 15 below.
Oh yeah, some of this lube y'all running don't work when it's 15
Yep.
below. Mm-hmm.
I
You
had
know,
a
we,
I had a Remington 1100 deer gun that I deer hunted with for years, and one deer, because our deer season in Iowa was in December. One year we had, a high of like minus 10. Well, we only get like an 8-day deer season, so we got to hunt. And that 1100 with the Remington, I was running just the Remington silicone lube, the Rem oil at the time, because
yeah.
I was like, well, shit, that's, got to be good stuff. It's got Remington on it. That gun ran so sluggish that it would short cycle deer slugs.
Wow.
So
Yeah.
lube does make a difference, and you start learning about that kind of stuff
Yeah, the
when it's
military
10
is real big
below.
on that. Yeah, the military is real big on testing that kind of stuff because again, you're in the military, you could end up in, Nome, Alaska, or you could end up
Hmm.
in, in debt, in the middle of fucking Baghdad and it's 100 and 112
Yeah,
degrees. So
in a couple
I'll tell
days
you what,
time.
I'll tell you a lube that I'm real happy with. Now, I'm pretty certain that Wilson doesn't make this, but there's a lube. I suspect Lucas makes this.
Hmm.
Again, I don't know this, but the Wilson has their light weapons. They have different lubes, but it's a red lube, and
Hmm.
it looks very similar to the stuff from Lucas. And that stuff works when it's super hot and it works when it's freezing cold. I've never had an issue. As a matter
Yep.
of fact, if it gets to be so cold, you generally don't want to use a whole lot of lube. But I've never had the red lube, and it's a full synthetic lube.
Hmm.
I've never had that bunge up and cause me issues. And the one gun where lube can cause issues in really cold weather are the Blaser R8s. those straight pull guns.
Really?
It's almost better to run those guns dry.
Yeah.
If you're hunting in the winter, it's just run them dry.
Yep.
So, but yeah, there's your lube. There's your
That was
lube
one of the
reference
nice
for the day.
things when I got this SFX. It actually comes with a bottle of the good Wilson lube, a full size
Yeah,
bottle, not the little itty bitty packet to try and get you hooked.
yeah.
And I'm a simple guy. I'm kind of impressed by simple things. But when I opened it up, the first thing I saw was the full size bottle of $20 lube. It's like, well, okay, that's nice.
Well, fun fact: the Wilson Red Lube. Again, I don't think Wilson makes it, but I just buy it from Wilson. I don't care.
Yeah, it's
I
rebranded.
get maybe I'll get a letter like, oh my god, we do make it. Like it's like it's pig it's pig fat from Bill's farm in Texas. I have no idea, but I actually use it on our gym equipment.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, because one, the gym's there and the lube's there, and if something starts getting bunged up and it doesn't ever like dry out and drag. So if I ever need to just occasionally touch up some of the machines, I just grab the red Wilson stuff. Their red Wilson stuff is my favorite, and they've got different kinds for different things. I'm not Before I used the Wilson stuff, I was kind of using, my big thing was Slip 2000, and I used Slip 2000 for a long time. The reason I got away from it, and Slip 2000 and EWL, which is a Slip 2000 product, was when it gets really, really, really hot, it actually starts to carbon foul. So I think it burns, and it starts actually making the guns really dirty.
Yeah.
There was something about the Slip 2000. Like, I used to be really impressed with it because it was like super slick and synthetic, and it was fine on pistols. But if you're running it on like ARs, and really pistols too, like I could experience because I run guns really hard, but like on rifles and you're really doing a lot of training where the gun's getting really hot, we noticed that the Slip 2000 stuff was like turning, I don't know if it's turning the carbon, if it's burning, but like the guns were getting really dirty, and it wasn't from the ammo. It was that product. And the red stuff from Wilson, which I think is Lucas oil, doesn't. So,
well, I actually have a little bit of a petroleum background that it kind of comes from the racing world, and it transfers over, and then I also sold oil for a very high end oil company. The type of oil that when you go buy an $80,000 motor from Vic Hill, this is the oil he tells you to run, and this is why.
yeah.
All of these gun lubes, it doesn't matter. Militech One, Wilson, Lucas, the stuff you're talking about. Most of those, the base lubricant is actually a vegetable oil.
You think the Wilson stuff is a vegetable oil?
I would just almost bet my bottom dollar on it. The difference between them are the additives that they put in it.
I doubt that, but I could be wrong. I doubt that.
No, so remember when Fire Clean was the newest, latest, greatest thing?
Well, yeah, that's because Larry Vickers and people were pushing it.
All of those, pretty much all of those oils that aren't like a straight PAO synthetic oil, they're not like what you're frying up your chicken in vegetable oil, but they're a vegetable based oil. They're a plant based oil for the base lubricant.
I do know. Now, see, the thing is, like, I think because it's a vegetable oil, I think it's technically healthier. Like, for some reason, I feel like the red, again, Wilson's not going to like this. I feel like the red oil that Wilson and Lucas oil, they sell, I feel like that is, like, can give you Parkinson's or ball cancer or something. Like I feel like I don't feel like that's vegetable oil.
You wake up well, it's the additive package. You wake up the next morning, you got a third nipple growing just above your belly button.
Yeah. I'd be curious if anyone out there knows if the red Lucas oil gun oil is vegetable oil based. Please let us know. If you know the Wilson stuff, but I'm pretty certain Wilson doesn't make their own oil.
Yeah,
it's an
just
OEM through somebody.
repackaged.
It's a white label through somebody else. To me, it looks a lot like Lucas Oil. Yeah, I feel like, yeah, I don't know. It's so chemically to me. I feel like, yeah, this is ball cancer here, or like something like this is getting the shakes. Like I definitely don't want to eat it. Like I'm washing my hands.
You get a little on
So
your hands, and the next day you have Forrest Whitaker eye.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, there you go. So, well, I'll tell you what, I have 8 minutes until my next hard meeting. And so
Yep.
we're going to go ahead, and I hope I don't get a letter from Lucas Oil or somebody about their oil, but we'll see. Maybe a nice letter. I love your products. I do. I love them. But we're going to do the police blotter, and I'm going to go ahead and, we're going to go ahead and call this one. So, the first one is, and hey, look, it's my podcast, my rules, so it's going to make the police blotter. There's a video out of Ukraine of a Ukrainian robot that is like on a track or whatever, and it's got like a 50, like they're whatever they call their 50, like the 12.7 millimeter Russian version of the 12.7 millimeter that they've got. And or maybe it's actually an M2 and actually no, correction, it says M2 Browning on it. And this robot is on the field, and apparently it engages and kills 20 Russian troops, and it's on video.
Nice.
And it's like, whoa, like this is the future is now. It's called the Ukrainian Defense Technology Company DevDroid said the strike was carried out by a droid TW-12.7 unmanned ground vehicle, UGV. So instead of the T-100 or T-1000, be prepared to shoot, go to war against the TW-12.7. So that's the first one that I thought was worth mentioning. The second one, again, my podcast, my rules. There's this, there's a woman who is this big socialist in New York City, and apparently she's from Ohio. And it's come out that she comes from a very wealthy family. She's into all this free shit for people. You don't have to pay mortgage. She probably supports legalizing shoplifting and just all this kind of trans rights or human or all this crazy shit, right? It's basically let men beat up women and do all that. So, which is fine. And she's this little crazy commie. And they were asking her about, she comes from this very wealthy family, and she calls herself noblesse oblique. She uses a French term, which is nobility obliges. And I'm just like, I'm listening to this, like, this little girl, she doesn't live in the real world. She basically wants to use the government to, terrorize people. Because if you don't do what she wants, they'll send, if you don't follow the socialist rule, they'll pass a law, and they'll fine you. And if you don't pay the fine, they'll fine you with interest. And then if you don't pay that fine, they will try to take your house, or they'll do a lien. And if you don't do that, they'll send people with guns and badges to come, and they ultimately either arrest you, or if you fight back, kill you. And it's like, this pure violent thing. And this girl, she's, in essence, she doesn't even realize she's want to sound all fancy talking, speaking in French. And all I can think of is the French Revolution and how violent that was. Like the French Revolution, like these people are stone cold killers. Like the stuff that they did, like I would not be quoting fancy French as you're some effete, some effete socialist from a rich family, because unfortunately, like during the French Revolution, this little girl doesn't understand. Eventually, the commies put you in front of the brick wall too. You're not protected. You're not noblesse oblique. You're the new whatever. The kulaks. You're the rich you've now become the rich farmer who has the land, so we're going to take the land from you and kill you because we're going to, and it's like everyone's going to starve. Like it's like this industrialized crime, and that's why it's on the blotter. So, but the last one, the last blotter. I'm going somewhere. Trust me, I know I've lost a listener, but I'm going somewhere. There was an arrest, I guess, over the past few days. Do you remember a town called in Ohio called East Palestine, Ohio? Do you remember that town?
Yeah, the big chemical spill, wasn't it?
The big chemical spill.
From the train derailment.
The train derailment. We were getting calls from people, are you guys okay? Are you affected by it? And like it's literally like the exact opposite side of the state. I don't even know where East Palestine technically is. Like it's really far away. I think it's near the little pointy part of West Virginia, up past Wheeling. Well, they apparently have a police department up there in East Palestine, and they have a vice department. And they conducted some arrests for prostitution, or arresting Johns for prostitution over on Sunday. That was yesterday in East Palestine. And do you want to know, can you guess who the highest profile person they arrested was?
Huggy?
In East Palestine, Ohio.
Huggy.
That's a very good guess. Bob Huggins? That is not a bad guess. Really, not a bad guess.
That one out of my ass.
Not a bad guess at all, Huggy Bear. No. There's some dash cam video of him around here where they've been like, literally, they're like, dude, we've let you go before. What the fuck? Like, we can't do this again. Nope. It was the CEO of the CEO of the San Francisco 49ers, John Jed York, was arrested on suspicion of engaging in prostitution. I have so many questions here.
Yeah.
Because, you're more into sport. You're more into sports than I am. Okay, why is the CEO of the San Francisco 49ers in East Palestine, Ohio? Why is he getting a prostitute in East Palestine, Ohio? What's going on?
Because I'm sure the prostitute's name was Methany.
Yeah, I'm sure it was. Dude, there's the title of the podcast. Talk about a buzzer beater right there. There we go. That's it. That's the title of the podcast. Thank you very much. And I'm just like, I don't understand what's happening here. John Jed York, 46, arrested in East Palestine. And it's like, what does this guy have to do with East Palestine, Ohio? Why is he in Ohio? I'm looking at his mugshot. He's about 5'9". And I'm just like, this is crazy. Like, yeah. So I just thought, it's not often I get to, do some sports.
Well, that's right up there with Bill. Why is Bill Belichick in a little Asian massage parlor getting a handy and getting busted by Vice?
That wasn't Bill Belichick. I'm going to get a letter. That was not Bill Belichick.
No,
it
was the Patriots. That wasn't Bill Belichick.
No, it was the owner, Bob
Kraft. You know
Kraft.
what I'm talking about, though. Yeah, but you know what I mean.
Bob Kraft. Oh yeah. Hell, I know the girl. No, I'm just kidding.
You could literally say, "Do you know who I am?" and walk out with any girl in the high end club, and he gets popped for getting a handy.
Hey, just remember, okay? Shane Gillis said it best at the ESPY Awards when he was talking about Bill Belichick with his hot 24-year-old girlfriend. He's like, if ever you had won 7 Super Bowls, maybe you wouldn't be sitting next to your dog wife, your ugly dog wife,
right?
Or whatever it was. So, right. So, well, that's going to wrap up episode 413 of the John 1911 Podcast. If you want to see a number of stories or pictures, links, everything we discussed, please go to the website at john1911.com. That's JOHN1911.com. Remember, it's all about shooting guns and having fun, everybody. Have a good day.
Everybody be safe, and my apologies to Bill Belichick.
Thank you.